everyone. You're still watching Prime Morning. This segment is proudly brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise, still and still phone Papa Perfie. My name is Roslyn Felly, and I say go to Franco Trading Enterprise for all your gadgets. It's mobile phones you need, television sets, CCTV cameras. So don't worry at all. You can download the app on your phone to make things very easy. And then when you download the app, you purchase any item at your convenience. The next thing is that if you want to have any more information, go to our website, www.francotradingenterprise.com. Franco Trading Enterprise, still and still, phone Papa Perfie. Now, this morning, we want to take a look at the fight against Galamsey. It's something that we in the media space, we've been calling on. Last year, we really called on this fight against Galamsey, where some people said that the government should declare state of emergency. It didn't happen. However, we have the NDC government in power now, and they are actually bringing out certain measures to fight Galamsey. I've been joined this morning by Paa Kwesi Schandorf, who is a media relations officer with the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources. Good morning, Paa Kwesi.
Yeah, Rosalie, good morning.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing well. I'm fine.
Yeah. Hey, why your voice changed?
I don't know.
Why you like this, Schandorf?
I can tell, but I can feel it's a bit, like the base is a bit more.
It's a bit more, okay. Yeah. So there's a Galamsey fight launch. There's a launch. The government is launching responsible cooperative mining and skills development program.
Exactly.
Tell us a bit about it.
Yeah, so first off, good morning to your good self and listeners. It's been a while we met like on a platform like this. But yes, government is set to roll out a new program. We have named it our COMSTEP, that is the responsible cooperative mining and skills development program. Now, why are we rolling out this initiative? In the thinking of the ministry or in the reasoning of the government, it has become necessary because the existing ones or the ones that we've had prior, that is the the community mining scheme, and then NALEP, that is the National Alternative Employment Livelihood Program, both of which were designed to, as it were, offer alternatives to those in mining communities. We realized upon examination that they were not yielding appropriate results, and therefore we decided to overhaul both of them, take them off the table, and then roll out the COMSTEP. Now, if you look at the approach of the ministry in fighting illegal mining, popularly known as Galamsey, you realize that we have employed 5 basically strategies that we are deploying to fight illegal mining. First has gotten to do with the reformation of the licensing regime. Then we are also deepening education and awareness. We are also enforcing laws. We are embarking on land reclamation as well. And then we are offering alternative livelihoods. This particular program falls under that ambit of the measures that we are rolling out, the provision of alternative livelihoods. Because if you go to most of the mining communities, their argument or their justification for getting involved in illegal mining is the fact that they don't have an active source of economic enterprise. Basically, they do not work. So they don't find the incentive to shun Galamsey, even though they understand the devastation on the environment. How do you reorient such people? Okay, you have to necessarily find a way to get them doing something. And that is what our COMSTEP is effectively coming to do. For those who want to still be involved in the venture of mining, it will be done more responsibly and sustainably. For those who do not want to continue doing mining, you offer them other alternative skills. So basically, that's the overlook of the program that will be launching on Wednesday at Obuasi.
At Obuasi?
Yes, not
okay. But it's going to be a nationwide thing once it's launched, right?
Absolutely. But the center or the particular areas of implementation or the endemic areas are those places where Galamsey is more prominent. For instance, you are looking at the 6 regions where Galamsey is more popular. Okay, in Accra, for instance, clearly we know that it is not a threat to the environment. But if you go to places like the central region, you're looking at the western region, the western north region, the central region, the eastern region, the Ahafo, enclaves, and all of those jurisdictions. Those are the places that Galamsey festers more. So those areas are going to be the focus. But of course, as and when we detect that there's the need to extend the program to other places, we'll do that accordingly as well.
Do you have an age limit to these people?
Absolutely not. It's an employment avenue, so to speak. So long as you are in the mining community and you are not economically engaged, if you want to do mining, if mining is what you want to embrace as a source of livelihood, then we would guide you in a very responsible manner.
Okay.
But
so you take the person through training?
Absolutely. So there's a problem with the...
Are you giving seed money as well?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So let me just run us through the layers of the program.
Okay, sure.
Actually, it's in 6 distinctive pillars. The first one has gotten to do with the cooperative mining scheme. Now, why are we doing cooperative mining in the first place? Back then, in the Akufo-Addo regime, I think this is somewhere July 2019, the community mining scheme was launched. What it did was to basically allow individuals to engage in the enterprise of mining in a communal fashion. But Rosalind, it lost that communal outlook in the sense that people, for example, could sit in Accra, they go to the Minerals Commission, they acquire licenses, and then they go to the communities, and then they start mining in the name of community mining without any direct benefit to the locals in the community. And that was defective because then it didn't benefit them. The traditional authorities were not in the loop, and everybody was excluded. So that became a problem. But this time, we are modifying it to a cooperative system, which means that it is not individualistic. Now it involves everybody in the community. It is community-led. So let's look at a community, any community. Let's say Tafu, for example. If the indigenes there feel that they want to engage in illegal mining, then they'll come together, form a cooperative led by the traditional authorities. Then everybody is involved. That way, Galamsey now can be properly managed because they understand that whatever they do is affecting them directly. But previously, if someone came to your community, says, I have a license and I've been given the approval to mine, it becomes difficult trying to, align them. So that's the cooperative angle. Then we're also going to support we offer mine support systems, services. And I think that ties into the question you asked. So let me just read it briefly. Sure. We are saying that this will involve the provision of comprehensive technical support, including modern equipment leasing, geographical surveying, safety training, and regulatory compliance assistance to elevate operational standards across all cooperative mining operations. I want to touch on the geological surveying. Most of the times, the illegal mining that is a threat to the country happens because it is done in a very randomized fashion. People perceive, not based on science and data, that perhaps there is a mineral deposit here, and then they just go and do the excavation. If they don't find it, they leave the land uncovered and then they move. But with the mine support service that we are going to offer, which includes the geographical surveying, we'll be able to detect properly that this place is a mineralized area. That is how we put it. That is to say that this place has some deposits. Therefore, if you do the excavation, your chances of finding something worthwhile there is higher. Okay, so you don't have to just be doing pick and choose or guesswork, because it's the guesswork that gives us some of the scenes that we are seeing on the screens, because they go, they check, they don't see anything, and then they move on. Quickly, let me touch on the remaining 4. We're also going to provide vocational training and entrepreneurial development. There's also an environmental rehabilitation program. There is the agricultural value chain development, and then the community infrastructure development. The aspect of the environmental rehabilitation program is where the land reclamation comes in. As we speak now, this morning, we have a total of about 5,500 hectares of land that have been adversely impacted by illegal mining. To get the picture clearly, when you say 5,500 hectares of land, effectively you are looking at about some 7,500 football fields. So imagine, for instance, the Accra Sports Stadium. You are looking at 7,500 of that, yes, devastated by illegal mining. The aspect of the environmental rehabilitation program through land reclamation would seek to address that particular devastation because of the land reclamation.
Now, talking about this, yes, continue.
I just wanted to touch on the aspect of the reclamation. It's a very expensive enterprise because, for instance, if you want to reclaim a hectare of land, you're looking at something, a figure around, let's say, $30,000 or $35,000. Okay, and we have 5,500 hectares of land that have been devastated. So if you do the multiplication, you can see how cost-intensive it is. But in our thinking, it is worthwhile because we want to retain the land and the forest reserves to their pristine state. So that's the aspect of the environmental rehabilitation program.
And this is going to be launched on Wednesday.
On Wednesday.
Precisely. So tell us what is going to happen exactly at the launch.
Well, of course, at the launch, so the minister would outdoor the program and he will flesh out the various pillars that I have gone through. And then, of course, the implementation plan would be rolled out. But it's instructive to know that after the launch, we would no longer have the community mining scheme and what we popularly refer to as NALEP, the National Alternative Employment and Livelihood Program. Because those two, we realized were defective in the sense that it got to a time that it became what I personally describe as an elite capture. So people were rather taking advantage of the program, which ordinarily was designed for the locals and those who were underprivileged. And all of those in the thinking of the Minister, Honorable Emmanuel Makofibua, it's not the right way to go. So effectively, our Comsdep will scrap that arrangement and then offer a new framework to reform the small scale and the artisanal mining sector in the country. Do we have a sustainability plan for this? Absolutely. That's a good question, because a lot of people have actually asked that if there were two existing programs and you in your thinking they didn't work, what is the guarantee that this very one would work? When it comes to the fight against illegal mining and every policy that accompanies it, for me, I think that one ingredient that leads to the success of any program is basically the political will. And the political will is basically the cooperation of the high-ups, those in power. Are they in the first place interested in dealing with the issue? Yes, as of now, the disposition of the sector minister, the Honorable Emmanuel Makofibua, is one that everybody can agree is convincing. Of course, the president also has the same momentum. So for the fact that those who call the shots are interested, we can say that any program that or any sustainability measure that you roll out will see results, because those who matter actually have it at heart, and therefore it would be sustainable. The fight against Galamsey is not, some people say, is not achievable because of politics. Does the minister have the political willpower to stand his ground and say, just like Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo said, I'm putting my presidency on the line? Does the minister have that willpower to do that? Let me give you a very simple and relatable proof of that. The minister is a member of the National Democratic Congress. Now, just recently, I think some 2 weeks ago, we had two leading members of the NDC, that is the party's national organizer and the third national vice chairman of the party. Both individuals were, I don't want to say arrested, but they became subjects of scrutiny. As we speak and forever, the minister is not interfering in the process. So think about it that this way. If the minister belongs to a political party and two leading members of the party are being interrogated, clearly then he's not in to shield anybody. And that is enough testament of his willingness politically to deal with the issue. Indeed, of course, it is not every detail that I can disclose, but there are active and, if you like, prominent party people who have become subjects of interest in the fight against illegal mining. Any issue of that sort that comes to the table of the minister is dealt with appropriately, regardless of whose ox is God. So for a man who is committed to fighting the fight, and I've had cause to say it on a couple of platforms, that even if, for example, you were his spouse or somebody who was very close to him, he's still going to, crack the whip where necessary. That is an abundant evidence of political will, and therefore, that's why I believe, and I think you should also, that the fight will certainly be won. Okay, fantastic. So we hope that the fight will be won. And I like the fact that you said the sustainability plan. Yeah. I'll ask this final question before you can give your final words. Now, we are hoping that we'll get a lot of people to enroll on this particular policy. Do we have like an estimation of the number of people expected to enroll on this policy to fight this Galamsey? Of course, there is, but I cannot put a figure to it. Okay. The reason we cannot put a figure to it is that you don't have a sense of those who would... you see, it's a livelihood program, okay? Let's take a community like... I don't want to use Tafo again, any local community, but let's say there's a community A, right? Illegal mining is ongoing there. Now, when you get there, the problem with the community mining scheme, one of the reasons why it failed, for example, was that most of the locals thought that enrolling on those programs was not profitable, it was not lucrative. So in as much as the government of the day back then was willing to offer them an alternative, they didn't subscribe to it because they felt, okay, it was not profitable. So it's very complex to do an aggregation of the numbers now. That is why education and sensitization is part of everything that we are doing. Get them to believe that you don't have to devastate the environment. You don't have to besiege the forest reserves. There is something more for you. If they buy into the message, which hopefully they would, then you can begin to count the numbers. But now it's very, very difficult to do that. But of course, there is a data that we'll use to do the enrollment. And so maybe when we get there, we'll start churning out the numbers.
Thank you so much, Schandorf, for being here. Anything you want to say before you go?
Basically what I've been saying all across board, that the issue of illegal mining is now a national crisis. Thankfully, the sector minister, the Honorable Emmanuel Amakofi-Boa, is not sleeping on the job at all. He's committed to making it a thing of the past, and therefore, let's keep hopes alive.
All right, thank you so much, and we hope that Galamsey will be fought, because this has been the cry of Ghanaians. This is all time will permit us for this segment. My name is Roslyn Felly. Thank you all so much for sending your messages to us, and a big thank you to Franco Trading Enterprise for always having our back. With Franco Trading Enterprise, you can trust that you get all your authentic gadgets, whether mobile phones, televisions, or CCTV cameras. Don't worry at all. Download the app on your phone, which is the Franco Trading app. Or for further inquiries, visit our website, www.francotradingenterprise.com. Franco Trading Enterprise, still and still, phone papa pair for you. Now, over the weekend, there was the biggest vigil in Ghana. It was held because one great legend has fallen, Daddy Lumba. I see it will be bringing you that and more, and also hearing that Reggie Rockstone's business has been burnt in the course of the night. She'll definitely tell us more about it during trends, and then there will be sports. And today is Monday. We'll be making money. But you know what? What do you think about this DSTV versus Sam George versus Ghanaians?
You are bringing me into this particular conversation. I think they simply have to yield. Okay, they have to yield because, I mean, government is the regulator. The regulator is setting out the terms. If you don't yield, clearly you run out of business. And if you do the numbers, I think the charges here in Ghana are comparatively more exorbitant compared to what is happening elsewhere. So they should simply yield and let's watch the English Premier League, because football, we're getting to the football
I like that one.
very soon. I mean, football
GTV and Joy Pride will bring you English
EPL.
Premier League. We'll bring it to you.
No comment.